I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. Nothing to buy, so what next? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The downward spiral of this one's wife gathers pace. It started out with a fairly slow gradient as she began to circle the drain. And as time has passed, more and more people have started to understand that she is a narcissist, that she's not a pleasant person, that she's a charlatan, a con person, that she has come along and sought to dupe so many people with her absence of charisma, absence of emotional empathy, and general uselessness. Netflix do not seem to be in the mood for renewing the contract, and certainly not of the scale of the first deal. We have part 2 of season 1 of her god-awful cookery show coming, but we all know that's just going to be more of the same and will just provide further opportunity for ridicule. Lemonada have seen her flopcast, which has fallen out of the top 100 within just 2 weeks and 3 episodes of its launch. Oh dear. No cosmetic giants or fashion houses are beating a path to her door, hammering upon it and declaring, this one's wife, come partner with us. The money is dwindling. Archwell doesn't make much of an appearance these days. Questions have been raised about fundraising in relation to this one's wife and Prince Harry, and accordingly, the outlook is not particularly rosy. American Riviera Orchard went nowhere, but from its demise rose the zombie that is as ever. And whilst this one's wife has sought to convince the world through her grift boxes and suitably favourable reviews from certain aspects of the media that her product is well worth purchasing, guess what? You can't. Indeed, I stand by the position that nobody has been able to buy anything. All that has happened is that this one's wife allowed people access to the product. That certain friends, influencers, media outlets were allowed to receive certain of the items for the purpose of ensuring that reviews were given, that there was publication on social media to raise awareness of the product, that they would, with her expectation, provide favourable reviews about how delicious the spread was, how delicious and worthwhile the shortbread was to make, and that the flowers aren't for guinea pigs and rabbits, they're so deliciously edible for human beings. I maintain that nothing was ever available for sale, and it still isn't. Going to the website shows the first thing in the banner is to sign up so that you can be notified of limited edition drops when stocks are refilled. All of the items show as sold out, and it's been several weeks now since the launch of As Ever's shop. It was launched, of course, in her garden as she took a wee amongst the foliage, but the actual website going live was a few weeks ago, and you still cannot buy anything. And that was always the case, because despite her sharing videos of things being bottled in some kind of nameless plant in the middle of nowhere, and the appearance of the grift boxes, which we all know were simply put together and distributed to various people to coax them to place it on their Instagram, the fact is, there is nothing to purchase. This one's wife has claimed that she's going to be a billionaire. That is delusion. But what is next? Is she actually going to refill the stock so that people can buy? And it's still a limited range. After all, it's just 3 teas, honey, which nobody's been able to get hold of, a spread, a crepe mix, a cookie mix, and edible flowers. That's it. It's hardly an expansive range. As I explained elsewhere, it's simply a marketing tool rather than an actual store. But where does she go to next? Is it the case that her delusion tells her that because she has had some favourable feedback from soft soap sources, that now it's time to ramp up production? And if so, who's going to organise that? Who's going to orchestrate it? And is it still going to provide her with the wealth that she seeks by way of a residual benefit? All she's done so far is have organised the creation of some products which have been sent out in gift boxes, allowing people access to it. That is not a full production run. The shipping and dropping of all of these items has not been properly tested. The provision of mass orders has not been fulfilled. She is light years away from the provision of an actual scaled up and effective distribution network for these products, which of course aren't even made by her. Is it the case that we will ever actually see a shop as you understand it to be? Or is it something else? I've explained previously that it's my belief that what this one's wife has sought to do is simply say, look, there are lots of people who are interested. Look, the website sold out in under an hour, even though, of course, that was done for scarcity points. Look, there's lots of people interested in it. Look, all these people are talking about it. Look at these influencers who viewed it positively. Look how they've shared their delight at receiving the gift box, although, open brackets, very few have actually talked about what the products are like. She points all of this out so that somebody comes along and says, you know what? You've got a little gold mine there. How much do you want for it? We'll tie you up under a consultancy deal so you remain the face of it. After all, it's your name that's associated with it. But we'll pay you lots of money, but you don't actually have to now do anything. That's what I think that she's been angling for. But it's also been suggested that there is a possible alternative to that. You may have seen elsewhere that has been suggested that this one's wife might be organising what's known as an MLM, multi-level marketing. This suggestion came from an individual known as Secondhand Coke, who is a poster on the subreddit Saint This One's Wife, which they use her full name, as you know, I do not. And this individual, who apparently is rather well placed, has commented that the gossip, the murmurings are that this one's wife is looking at the implementation of an MLM. In essence, what this means is that she organises for people to purchase the product so that they can then organise to sell them on her behalf to other people. This means she gets paid and does very little. If this suggested rumour has force behind it, it would accord with the behaviour, of course, of a narcissist, because the type of narcissist that this one's wife is that her narcissism demands the maximum return on the minimum investment. Namely, I want the residual benefit of money for doing very little. Remember, I can't believe I'm not being paid for doing a walkabout. And it would follow that, similar to my suggestion that she's been waiting for someone to swoop in and pay her a lot of money and take over the brand, that she might alternatively suggest you organise a payment to me as the brand owner, and then you in effect gain a franchise for you to then go and sell these products to other people so you can be a girl boss like me and make money. In effect, it's pyramid selling, which is actually unlawful, but it won't be described as such to avoid falling foul of the law. The problem with this scheme is that it needs people to be interested in buying the products. And so far, despite what we've been told, there is no actual clear evidence as to the level of interest in the products. After all, the official site of As Ever only has around about 823,000 followers, which many of which are likely to be bots, and as I pointed out before, that's piss poor considering the global coverage that this one's wife has. That isn't going to sustain a business that's going to make her a billionaire. It also means that the people that are most likely to buy into it are the sugars, and they're not known for their socioeconomic firepower. And they would then have to sell to, that's right, other sugars because nobody else is particularly interested. It seems that it would have limited applicability, and if it was to get off the ground to any degree, would simply result in this one's wife's supporters suddenly find out very quickly that they've been shortchanged, that they'll have made payments to her which they probably wouldn't even recoup, that they would end up buying lots of stock which they then weren't able to sell, and they can't return it, and they would realise that they've been fleeced. This I see as something that a narcissist could well do. After all, the narcissist has no emotional empathy for those affected and wants the easiest way of making the residual benefit, that is money. It remains the case you can't buy anything from As Ever. You never could, and it's likely that you never will be able to. Instead, this one's wife isn't interested in actually creating a working business. She wants to create an idea that she can either sell to a conglomerate and remain the face of it for a lot of money, or an idea that she can sell to her supporters on the pretext of them making money, which they never will do, and will end up conned. What do you think? Do you think she actually will get her arse into gear and As Ever will be a fully fledged offering whereby you will be able to buy things and there will be an expanded product range? Or do you think, like me, she's still waiting for someone to swoop in and buy the idea off her? Or do you think, as suggested elsewhere, that she might go down the route of multi-level marketing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.